hello everyone. Welcome, welcome. How you guys all doing today? Okay, so today, do a quick look back on our last week's reading. Sorry, I'm having my sniffles again. Alright, it is really hard to, you're gonna go sleep? Yeah, no problem, rest well. It is really hard to keep up with journaling, since I was just trying to get back into it. Okay. I also had a pretty bad dream last night. I don't know if I'll get into that. Yeah, no worries. Take care, rest well. You know, if you have things you gotta do go to sleep for it. No reason for anyone to stay up for my streams. At the end of the day, that's what the VODs are for, so yeah. Thank you for even dropping by, really appreciate it. Alright. Well, Hamu, hello Fali, welcome, welcome. Alright, so last week, we got our embrace is 3 of Wands, reverse. Focus was a 6 of Swords, reverse, and gain was an Ace of Pentacles. So embracing means what we're gonna be receiving from the week ahead, where development may take time, plans might change, and we need to be more lenient about those. The focus is on what is ahead of us. Keep moving forward, seeking what may be holding us back. And what we gain from these 2 cards is a steady relationship of patience and investments into our goals, and ideas becoming reality. I could see that happening, all of that, actually, for me. There's like a lot of planning that needed to be done for my work, so, it's gotta take time for it to all come to fruition. And there was a lot of like goals that like had to be like changed, so I had to be lenient about a bunch of those stuff as well. And that was good. Alright, I also still have your guys' readings from last week, so if you guys are doing a reading this week, I will look back on that too, so it'll be a lot more easier to go through. However, not everything needs to be one-to-one exact, and as I've mentioned before, cards are only guidelines to what's ahead of us. If you want to follow it or not, that's up to you, and that's okay too. Alright, so let's begin here for our um, new week here. Let me go. Sorry. I'll be writing along, so I do apologize with how slow I might be this time around for future tarot readings. I am a bit slower than usual when it comes to writing. Yeah. I am quite behind on a few pages here, but hopefully it'll be okay once I get more used to journaling. All right. Embrace. Focus. And gain. All right. Let's get our tarot cards out. Alright, so our first card is the Hierophant Reverse, or Embrace. What does that mean? Okay. Well, Hierophant as a major tarot card is something we should focus on, and it is telling us for something we probably need to embrace, something major that will be happening in this week ahead of us. Embrace was the Hierophant. And that's a reversed. Hierophant reverse means personal beliefs, freedom, and challenging the status quo. It can also mean rebellion, new methods, unconformity. Since Hierophant originally means like traditions, social norms, the groups, it's probably telling us that we're feeling particularly restricted or constrained in too many structures and rules that are happening in our lives at this time. As a result of that, we've lost quite a lot of control in our flexibility in life. There is a very strong desire for people that you want to break free and regain control. And you're tempted to try different approaches to defy like normalities in your life. The Hierophant reversal is also mostly could mean about questioning certain traditions that you're going through and making sure that whatever that you do is right for you in certain moments. In the most positive form of receiving this card, it could be a reminder that at the end of the day, you are your own teacher. You are guided by your own path and your beliefs. So even though it may feel unsettling at this time, you have to like people might question you, that might go against like certain traditions of their own, but like deep within, you know, like what you're doing is what's best for you. Hierophant reverse also shows that you probably no longer need the external approval for you to succeed. And even if you're ready to do this alone, you're giving yourself your permission and your own guidance to create your own path forward. Hierophant reverse encourages you to examine the way we do things around and ask yourself whether it aligns with your values. You have been running on autopilot for so far and following the crowd that you see that changes need to be made. Taken further, Hierophant reverse is kind of like a rebelling teenager who questions society and take part in anti-institutional activities. This may be like you may be running into like conflict with your parents or an authoritative figure when this card shows up. So let's write down base stuff. Hierophant, so it's like rebellion, personal belief, freedom, trying to think of like one more word. Non-conformity. Non-conforming. And embrace. So what is it telling us to embrace for this week ahead of us? Like perhaps questioning our belief system, or like those around us, you know, questioning ourselves and others. Let's see. I'm probably embracing taking our own paths as well. Maybe also taking that risk of like our own path too. Well, let's say making our own choices. That's probably a better way of writing that. I know paths and choices may be the same thing, but you know, it could also mean things differently for people as well. Alright. Our focus card. Knight of... what is this? Knight of Wands, okay. Knight of Wands, upright. Knight of Wands upright. Oops, sorry. Forgot to turn that down. Means courage, energetic, free spirit. Well, again, it also is talking about being rebellious. That actually kind of works along with our embrace card too. Kind of fun seeing like how cards connect with each other. Inspired action, adventure. So that's right, passion, rebellious. Kind of just funny to put that in, knowing that we had a card previously that had the same word in it too. Free spirit. Courage. This all really works together with the previous card, where Hierophant as a major arcana does kind of want us to like look at it. Resonating with these really hard so far. That's good, that's good. So Knight of Wands symbolizes like being straightforward. Let me write that down too. Being straight. And okay. When it appears, it means a great time to get away and travel. You might be feeling charged up and full of life, ready to get things done. The knight is adventurous and can find things to do no matter where he is, and it's never a dull moment when the Knight of Wands is around. When this card shows up in a reading, it does suggest the seeker wants to complete important task. One wants to impress others with their knowledge and skill. It also shows up when the person is planning to move to another place of residency. If you're starting a creative project, then you should do so with lots of energy and enthusiasm. However, you should balance it with realistic and well-rounded views. If you have a plan, you also need to take account the consequences of your actions. Knight of Wands in a reading can also mean that there is an event that you don't expect to happen soon. More often than not, the Knight of Wands can indicate a hasty change of jobs, residence, or anything in your life. So knights in general, when they show up in cards, usually just kind of mean like impulsiveness of certain actions. So you'll see it pretty often where it's just like, could go be like good or bad. It's, you know, with the way a card is either flipped or just certain objects or symbolism that comes with it. So with the wand, you know, it's like a pursuit of an idea. You have the energy and motivation for all of that, but you gotta recognize that you gotta be careful with where you're putting that energy, and recognize the consequences that could, the consequences that can happen alongside with your actions too. Since the, you know, knights usually come with the act first, think later. But there's a tendency to rush into things with little consideration of others. What is this telling us to focus on? it's like focus on putting our energy into the correct actions, I guess. Let's see, focus on moving forward, you know? Well, let's say focus on turning our vision, turning thoughts into reality. I think that sounds better. That kind of works a lot on the side of embracing that, like, we have to take our own path, make our own choices. The fact that both cards do come in talking about being rebellious or having rebellion and being non-conforming, it does kind of push ahead on both cards being like, hey, like, you gotta be making this choice, like no one else can, you know? Hi Virgil, Ohamu, welcome. It's like the path that's given ahead of us, we need to be the one to make those choices, not anyone else. It's kind of, again, with the major arcana right in front of us, it's like, hey, like, don't wait for others to make that choice for you, you know? You gotta do it yourself. So I feel like I already know what we're gaining from these, but let's see what the card does say from here. Yeah, there's two cards that gave us, was just like, hey, recognize where your values are and make a proper choice with that in mind. We got the Knight, or the Five of Wands. We have gotten this card a lot, so because we got this card so much, I kind of understand what it's already about. It's about like arguments, or like fighting, but being able to listen to one another. This is so funny because I've seen this card so many times. Oh no, professional tarot reader remembers their cards. Yes. It's really hard, honestly. Okay, so our gain is the Five of Wands. You know, it's also nice that we got the Hierophant card first, and then following that was the Wand cards, because usually with the Hierophant, it's like looking within your heart, your mind, highly your mind's like using your mind, and Wand cards too follow up with that as well, where it's like quite spiritual, like like your like bases, you know. So that's kind of like, it follows up really well with the Hierophant card in that sense too. I'm trying really hard to explain these things, so I do want to apologize if I don't do a good job at that. I did mention in a previous stream, English is not my first language, so I am doing my best here. But it is the one I speak most of, so I wish I was better at it. Okay. Five of Wands. Alright, means conflict, disagreements, tension. Diversity, I mean, that is like diverse ideas and thoughts. Clashing of egos, you know, rivalry. But the Five of Wands upright means like while this is all happening, it's also telling you to like take a step back and recognize that like you should be listening people's POV too. Okay. So the Five of Wands suggests that there's a form of conflict in one's life. It may be existing conflict that is brewing. It may eventually blow up in one's face. It also may depict a problem in communication. Much of this can be solved by taking the first step to try and initiate the communication in such a way that you suggest that everyone's airs out what they have to say one at a time. By doing this, you'll be able to address the problem and everyone will be heard, meaning they'll all be satisfied. Five of Wands can also mean that you will be facing competition in an area you're not used to. This can be at work or school where you'll meet people with the same abilities as you who pose quite a challenge, which could lead to feelings of jealousy, greed, and envy. Tarot card encourages you that you accept this competition in a way to improve yourself without feeling any malice towards them. This is also trying to tell you to learn how to cope with them in a very civil way. You could, Five of Wands could also mean having personal struggles that you're dealing with on your own. There can be a number of issues, such as like with your career, financially, or even with your relationships with people. You will need to identify what the problems are and offer a solution that will handle the case. Yeah, they're like, you gotta cope, man. Like, you can't be fighting, arguing with people and stuff like that. So yeah, what are we gaining from this? In my opinion, it's telling us to gain patience, perspective, I mean, in a sense, maybe like even we're gaining like pushback that could be important for our growth, you know? Let's see. We could also be gaining like initiation, like being confident in our choices, confidence, empathy. I mean, that kind of goes with perspective too. But yeah, I think I'm like, there's quite a lot that this spread has told us, honestly. Sorry, I'm just like trying to think how to word this properly. Yeah, pretty spicy, all things considered. It's like kind of like telling us that like we're probably gonna butt heads with a lot of people. It may not seem like it now, but it probably is going to happen. Stretch.
Oh, excuse me.
Thank you. Like, there's probably gonna be happen where we're questioning ourselves and others, and we have to recognize certain perspectives that people are going through. And like, do we really want to put our energy into like being part of these arguments? Or like, if we do, then we gotta be like patient with people. We gotta be like see their like side of things, even if we don't agree on it. Like seeing people's perspectives. And also it does kind of also tell us to putting like our thoughts, like we can make choices, but you also have to put in the action to make it into reality. So like this can just go for many things. Maybe there is like arguments with your family members where you're like, there's something that your values don't align with, but you gotta also have to try to see it from their perspective too. So like, what if like, they're like working on something and then you're just like, oh, like that's really bad, for the environment, but like can you like tell someone to like not have a job or something? Like it's kind of tough. And it's like, obviously I don't think for them they want to like, that's like for their morals either, but like in our lovely capitalistic society, like who is to say how people are like needing to earn their money if they're just a cog in the machine, Yeah, these cards all work together very well hand in hand. I mean, it could also even be internal struggles like maybe you're the one who's working a job, like you finally got a job and you're like, oh, I'm working for a tech company that works for the military, and you're like anti-war or stuff like that, and then you're just like, okay, but like I need a job, I need to make money, so sorry, I would never put people in the spot where they feel like if you're not happy with your work, you need to like if it's like the only chance and you don't have the money to just like escape from it, there's no reason for people to like get on your ass about that. That's just how I perceive it. Like we gotta live somehow, and a lot of us are not given the chance or choice for all that either. It's really hard. I know people have different ideas or like perception of like what you should do for the greater good of this world and stuff like that. But that doesn't mean you should ignore the fact that a lot of people don't have that choice either, which is very unfortunate. I mean, if you like, obviously, let's just like talk about like Gen AI. It's like don't use it, but like if your company that you're working for is like, we're gonna use Gen AI, it's not like you're agreeing with them. It just sucks that you're also like you're like, well, I work for a company who's positive about Gen AI, whoopee, like what am I supposed to do? I feel like a jerk, basically. Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do, especially with the times now. It's really tough. Not everyone can easily just make the choice of just like, going ahead with something else. It's not that easy for everyone. People who get to make that choice though, like, proud of them that they can. Hopefully they don't put down others for those sorts of situations that they're in though. Yeah. Most companies are at this point just being like, woohoo, like just use Gen AI. And it's like, that's cool. Yeah, Oh, whew. Totally awesome, you know? Totally amazing. The world we live in right now. Yeah, okay. So, sorry about being a little negative about that, but you know, not again. Just remember to have some empathy for people who are just cogs in the machine. If you get the chance to not be in that, that's good. If you are, don't feel bad that you're trying to just do it for survival. Please, don't feel bad. I'm in a big doomer mood. Alright, so I've opened up readings for everyone. Feel free to do that. We will check around and see what there is for everyone here. Yeah. Let me get some water here. Gundam this year? Do you mean like where Gundam is going this year? Yeah, like, is Gundam gonna be goated or is it gonna be another dumpster fire year? Oh gosh. Okay, let me write that down. Last time you asked about love. Okay, so this time it's about Gundam. Alright. Gundam is love, Gundam is life. Alright. Gundam. Let's see what the cards tell us. Queen of Swords, okay. And that is... It's because I love Gundam, I want to know how it's doing, how it's gonna do this year. Well, apparently I'm gonna be the one to showcase why it's doing good or bad, huh? Well, in Queen of Swords we did get that last time. I know we got that for oh my god. Okay. I spelled knights wrong in the previous last week. Alright, so Queen of Swords means being honest, independent, fair, constructive, critical, objective, and perceptive. So, this can go both ways, honestly, if we're talking about Gundam. Independent. Constructive criticism. Being objective. Alright, let's see. So, the Queen of Swords is an archetype of an older, wiser, feminine, intellectual person. She can be thought as the most masculine of the group of queens in the cards, and she can come off as quite stern and emotionless. This card represents the importance of making judgments without relying on emotion alone. The Queen of Swords beckons you to look at the facts before making a decision. This queen has compassion, which is why she has her hand reaching out and offering. but she wants to connect to people using an understanding that is intellectual. This card also means you'll need to become independent on your judgments. You must rely on unbiased intelligence, which has been researching alternate viewpoints and thinking carefully on your own decision. Compassion and empathy on these cases can distract you from your task, so you need to try to keep it a strong objective view while avoiding getting emotions involved. Unbiased intelligence! The queen has the ability to tell people the way it is. It allows her to get her point across so there's no confusion on what's being said. She also expects the same frankness from other people, which means you need to be clear with everything that's being said, even if it may hurt. So honestly, this might be about like you with your opinions on Gundam for the year, or it's like what Gundam is also gonna be, where it's gonna be just like objectively honest, whether you like it or not. And isn't Hathaway's second movie coming out this year? And let me double check. Oh my god, it's so soon, apparently. It's coming to January 30th in Japan this year. So yeah, yeah. I don't really know how to like truly read this, because it could also just mean that whoever is working on Gundam is probably just gonna be like unbiased. Well, they're gonna be biased, but like they're gonna be very honest and frank about like what story they're telling, and you also have to just accept that and give your honest and frank opinion on that too. This is just spoiling the new Gundam. I mean, yeah, like if you read the novel, it's basically saying like emotions are gonna get in the way, which is very Gundam thing to say, but you need to make a choice. So like you gotta have boundaries. You gotta be like, you might be picky with like certain situations you're in. You gotta have like, you try to like, it's hard to find guidance. You might be acting, you have to act with logic and reason and not be emotional. What a funny choice to be like, I want a reading for Gundam, and then I'm like, okay, well, here's the spoilers for Hathaway's Flash movie 2. No, that's the thing, right? Hathaway acting with logic? That sounds crazy, right? However, the Queen of Swords is asking for that. Hi Citrus, welcome. Where like it's telling you like, well, like you should be acting this way, but I know you're not going to, you know? You gotta be honest, but we know that Hathaway isn't that kind of person either, you know? Crazy. So yeah, whether it's a dumpster fire or not is I guess up to you. So for the Japanese title is The Sorcery of the Nymph Circe. Oh, in English is The Sorcery of Nymph Circe. The Japanese title is Witch of Circe. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I feel like Americans or like English speakers would probably confuse as like, oh, is this the next part of the Witch from Mercury, you know? Jobs and money, unemployed, wah. Okay. Alright, let's see. Let's write you down, Virgil. Job. Asterisk. Because you're unemployed. Let's see. Wah. King of Wands reversed. All right. Let me write that down. King of Wands reversed. It means being forceful, domineering, vicious, but being also powerless, ineffective, and weak. When it comes to like career, it could mean that there's a lack of direction of possibly what you might be looking for. You might be waiting for others to bring you things instead of chasing the opportunity yourself. Like you're just kind of waiting for it to like land on you. You might also be continuing to wait for others to define your purpose. Like, what should I be doing instead? And never truly finding out what fits your passion, though. This card is telling you to try to define what your wants and needs are. Let me see. Let me write this down. Finding your wants and needs. Find your own focus. And passion. And direction. I mean, that's kind of like goes with focus. Let's see. If you do have a goal or career in mind that you want, things might not be going well because you lack the confidence, but it is important to trust your own instincts over the advice of others sometimes. Everyone views the world through their own lens. Remember that someone else's bias might cloud your vision of what you need. Trust yourself in finding your career. So yeah, it seems like from what this card is telling me is that you're kind of like waffling a bit on like what you really want to do. Perhaps you're like expecting others to tell you what you should be doing. Like, you know, it might be pretty easy for a lot of folks to just be like, you know, just get a tech job, something like that. When you don't really like want to, for example, or like, is that really truly like what you're looking for? Is it like what you're like want to strive for? Like, sure, maybe the job you want won't pay well, and that's kind of like what you're kind of that's kind of like where you're like stuck at, you know? You're like, like I want to get a well-paid job. However, like the job that I really want is like not that well paid. But like you have to recognize within yourself what you want, like your passion, you know, what you truly are looking for. You went with like a computer science degree or something, and now it's like oversaturated. It's definitely really tough. If that's the case, then what this card could be telling you is like defining what you truly want. Don't be chasing for those opportunities that like you were originally given, you know? But look for like what you truly want to like work within. Like that might be a little hard for me or others to like find for you. So this card is telling you that like you have to look within yourself to make that choice, you know. Sure, there might be like some setbacks. You might have to be like, does that mean I have to go back to school? And you know, you're not like into that. Or like you have to do more studying, and that's like frustrating too. But like consider those setbacks as like a step to find another road or direction for you to like be like the person or like the work you want to do that you feel the most comfortable and confident in, you know? Like perhaps, like I do know that you're like a fan of like Mint, it's like maybe even using your abilities in computer science. I don't, that's a very broad thing to say, but like you can use that. It's like, oh, maybe make like a fan game. It's something you're passionate about. Of course there's not going to make any money whatsoever. However, it's something you care about, and you want to work in that like creative space, and perhaps maybe that could like open up new doors for you too. If that's not like a thing you're like interested in, maybe even like working in communities that like you want to like feel something, you just want to feel something in these communities, that you want to put like your foot forward and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like if we work with this alongside the 3-card spread that we have here, um it's also like telling you to like make your own path, make your own choice, focus on yourself, make those thoughts into reality. And these cards aren't asking you, the 3-card spread that we have down here, it doesn't say it will happen immediately or even this week. It's just kind of like the foundation, the settings, the setting stones, and recognizing that like this might be a lot of conflict with like I don't know, it could be with like anything. Like maybe your family's like, oh, why aren't you like just getting a job at like Google? And you're like, do you think I could just get a job at Google? There's gonna be a lot of these like perspectives and pushback from like people around you that you're just like, my god, they don't understand like how hard it is right now, like to find a job and things like that. And that's gonna happen, but you also have to recognize like possibly your family are saying all these things because they care about you, they don't understand your struggles, but they just want what's best for you. And that's a little tough to like having to just like find the balance on. I hope that was helpful. Do apologize if that was a little like, oh great, this card read me like a book. But hopefully that kind of gives you some guidance to feel like you're not alone on this, and also that things that you're dealing with, like even though it has to be like internally, like you have to deal with it yourself, just recognize that you're not alone on this feeling at all. Jobs for quets. Okay. Oh, sorry. I hope that helped out, Virgil. Thank you for letting me read a card for you. Job for quets. For a bit of context, he's in real estate and has a not nice boss, so he's trying to look for somewhere new. Damn. Okay, so I'm gonna write, instead of Feli, I'm gonna put quets here, even though this is technically from you. However, it's for quets, so we're gonna do that. Job, again, I put an asterisk on this word. So alright, let's see. Job for quets in this wonderful world where bosses really truly think they are the boss of your whole life. I'm sorry, I'm remembering some really stupid things where it's just like, have you guys seen, there's like this Reddit post where this guy was working like in Denmark, and he just clocks out like 5 p.m. sharp his time, and then like the American boss gets mad at him and he's just like, this is not my fault. like America needs to do better. To me it's really funny because it's just like, oh okay, so you think like he was like, you poor Americans who think like your life is like you gotta have the like the rush culture and stuff, and I'm just like, oh yeah. All right. What's his job? Oof. What is this? 9 of Wands. Let me write that down. Let me just double check that's what it is. Yep. upright Nine of Wands. We've actually had this card before, I think either in a reading or for someone else's reading. This is the upright Nine of Wands. And this means the last stand, persevering, grit, resilience, fatigue, perhaps even close to success. Let me write that down. So, when the Nine of Wands shows up, it shows that there's great hope, even when one is faced by many problems or threatened to make them lose their balance. The Nine of Wands symbolizes one life. Sorry, I just started writing for some reason. The Nine of Wands symbolizes where someone has undergone too many trials through their determination and will, they were able to overcome it. There can be one major trial or challenge that they're supposed to face to reach their goal and be successful. This card is a sign of hope and encouragement that you will face your trials with courage and that you may attain success. Let me write stuff down. Persistence, resilience. Perseverance and fatigue. It really feels like Quetz is at like the end of his ropes here with this guy. The Nine of Wands may also mean that the person may have been betrayed and becoming mistrustful of others. But there's also hope and courage there, and the belief that this outlook is about to change. Someone or something may come into their life that will change their whole view of their past struggles and encourage one to take the risky move because it may be a surprise. So with career, you know, they're feeling drained, exhausted from work, but recognize that that all those struggles might end soon. Right now, Quest is likely exhausted. There's a battle to just keep working, to continue to fight longer, but it's also a reminder that whatever troubles that he may be facing in his career right now are temporary. Perhaps like his workload has been really heavy, or like dealing with his stupid boss. But he has the strength to like keep up the image and fight until the end. You can persevere, but the battle is not yet won. It sounds like it is working. It's a card that is working like for him. He is working very hard. There's a lot that sorry. I'm not gonna read that card for anyone, even if it may be a good card. I apologize, I accidentally clicked the deck. So yeah, it seems like he is going through a lot, especially with his boss or even his work in general. However, that doesn't mean that like it's endgame, you know? As you mentioned, he did get an interview, so hopefully that works out for him. And hopefully that also means that he doesn't give up on like looking for other jobs, even if that one does like miss, you know? Yeah, seems like he piles so much work on him but also calls him lazy when he's only the one who works the hardest. I totally understand that. So yeah, like it says, you are physically exhausted with everything's in front of you. So you have to continue fighting, but recognize that what you're feeling right now are temporary. So, you know, part of that struggle too may be also looking for a new job. So I do wish you a lot of luck on that, Quetz. Keep working at it. It's tough, but I think what this card, no, not this one here. What this card is saying is that like even if the wand is broken, you're still able to stand up and fight, you know? You're still able to work hard and get what you need. So like keep at it. You can do it. You can do this. It's just tough, you know. It's rough out there. But you gotta persevere. You gotta be resilient and persist. Keep at it. Thank you for letting me read. Yeah, of course. Thank you for letting me read for him. Really appreciate it. Alright, I'll probably do like 4 more here. Or maybe even less. I'll be honest. This week I would consider a lot lighter than my usuals, even though I have a lot of things happening. But I'm not doing multiple streams per day, except for on Thursday. So I'm taking a lot more breaks. I've been hit with the fatigue of not streaming. It's just like work on top of streaming has been pretty tough on me. So hopefully I'll get to just be able to rest more, be able to focus on work a bit as well. Alright, Falsmeyer, Queen of Coins. Man, we got that for Rita last time. Okay, general. Falsmeyer. General. Queen of Coins. And this means stability, camaraderie, embodying qualities. That one was more specifically about love, but it kind of does. Oops. It does kind of just follow the same like ideas, general, but I will put it more generalized, you know. So it does mean being sensible, being practical, comforting. Sensible, practical. Generous, caring, you know. So what does this mean in a general reading, though? It's about being careful, vigilant, self-sufficient. So the Queen of Pentacles represents a motherly figure who desires to help you maneuver your way and achieve your goals with a helping of her common sense. She will not only show you love, but also show you the way forward where you seem to be stranded and confused. Motherly figure, I guess. Char's favorite, the queens of the tarot cards. Okay, sorry. Her advice ensures that you do not make dangerous decisions, especially financially, since it is a coin card. She offers precautions, principles, and support. She is a self-made woman. She wants for you to be independent and wise, just that you're able to raise others and make them responsible too. So this card, for a general reading, I would consider being responsible with your finances. You're a talented colleague and business partner for those in your work. Relationship wise, whether it's romantic or familial or with your friends, you're a place of comfort for them. You're a stable someone who's grounded surrounding them. So you recognize to be organized or capable person. If you do want to get more into like the details of like what this card might go to for the future instead of just a general reading, you could like ask like this card if you want, like you can ask this card specifically for advices. It's like if you do care for those sorts of things where you delve into it a little deeper, where the Queen of Pentacles would be like who you're asking for your question, for your like advice. And that might be a little weird to be like, how am I supposed to ask a card for advice, you know? But then for Queen of Pentacles, who's very focused on like the love and nurturing side, but it's also very like, since it's a coin card, it's also telling you to be careful, be independent, be like quiet and not disclose like much facts about you. Be vigilant with your information, but also be self-sufficient with what you have. This card represents a responsible person, so it is telling you to balance like your enjoyment, your pleasures, but also with like be practical, be frugal. There's a lot of abundance and fulfillment that might be coming to your life, but you gotta prioritize self-care. So it's kind of like, you know, as coin cards, pentacle cards usually are, it's like there's two sides of the coin, you know? You gotta recognize both sides to and balance both sides to be able to you know, truly pursue and use that card to its like highest potential. I hope that was helpful, Falsmeyer. I feel so bad. I am getting really sleepy. So I do apologize if there's gonna be one last reading here. So go ahead and do so when you're able to. So like yesterday I was like dizzy. That sounds really like yeah, I'm having big EP times. When I was like just on my computer, I got like a dizzy spell, and like I could not keep my eyes open. But at the same time, when I was trying to go to sleep, like I was like stuck in limbo. It was like so bad. It was like so bad that like I had like a really terrible dream. Alright, chess, finance, okay. And obviously I woke up not feeling too great, so... Oh, here I am. Doing my best. Bad first dream of the year. Yes, actually. Very, very, negative dream, even. Alright, the Hermit. Wow, okay. Reverse, no less. So what does this mean? Generally speaking, as a reverse card, it says loneliness, isolation, recluse, returning to society even. Financially means probably better understanding of like your material situation. Or like realigning your like internal goals. Sorry, I'm writing stuff. realignment. Your internal goals. You might even be like working alone. Maybe you're feeling distance from society. What? Don't run off so fast. Calm down, calm down. Reverse Hermit, when it's reversed, you're perhaps in a situation where you feel and you would like to be alone, and there's nothing wrong with that. There is a possibility that it could be harmful, though the Hermit sets forward with a noble intention to search for his inner truth, and his path inward may also be filled with danger. Like a man that gets lost in his own dreams, the Hermit may find himself stuck in a world of his own, where he feels alone, but it's also unrealistic. You must learn to balance your need for truth with connection to your fellow humans. Don't give up so quick. So financially, you may be ready to look for advice from outside sources. Ideally, you come out from a period of contemplation of what material security and the money means to you, and you may be putting a lot of insight into that. You might be because of like you're in a period of solitude that could be like extending a lot further, so you might choose. Oh my gosh, sorry. My cat just scared me. March into my room, starts scratching her scratch post, and then walks out. My cat, so there's like a little ball on the scratch post, and she teared it off, and I'm just like, why'd you do that? But yeah, okay, sorry. This is not about my cat now. You may also be choosing to avoid working with others, which may feel less limiting at first, but you have to make sure to continue to receive social support from others. This card can also indicate that you feel forced to work alone, and you may feel very lonely, but recognize that those feelings that you have are like what you're only feeling internally. Yeah, social support is very crucial. And yes, my cat actually does not scratch my chair at all. If ever, like never, barely. Yeah, so like financially, I think it's just kind of telling you that like you should, if you're in a poor financial situation, it might be asking you to, you probably have to look more outwardly for the support. Or maybe like your ideas or thoughts on how like money or material goods are truly like secure for you, you know? Like some people like it might be just telling you that like, hey, maybe you don't actually need like all the material goods that you have, you know? Like maybe I don't need all these Dark Magician Girl figurines in my room. However, it does make me happy, and you know, this this ain't about that right now. But it's like stuff like that. It's like what is that? Marie Kondo? You know, the person who is just like, you know, if this does not give you joy, let me just make sure I'm saying her things correctly, because I feel like a freaking idiot. The KonMari method, you know, where you're like choosing what sparks joy for you. Yeah, Marie Kondo. The KonMari method, where like It's a simple but effective organized system that where you choose what sparks joy for you, and if things don't spark joy for you, you know, you kind of have you just like let it go. But if you feel like an attachment to it, there's nothing wrong with that too, you know. That doesn't change the fact that like you still care about the object that is in front of you. You're more of a wind charmer girl rather than a dark magician girl enjoyer. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I do like the charmers. They're really cute. Earth charmer enjoyer. She got a figure as well. Oh yeah. I do wish they got more support, honestly. The charmers. But yeah, I hope that was helpful. Sorry, I just like blanked out again. We're talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm just like, oh, we're talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now. I ran a Charmer deck a while back. It's fine, but you really have to have good knowledge on the meta. I mean, these days, I don't even know what's going on with the meta. Interesting. Apparently the wind charm the charmers use the wake up cards. That's interesting. Those are like coffee cards. But yeah. Okay, I do apologize that I am going to close off the card readings earlier than usual. I am actually feeling so cooked. Like, I don't know. I'm glad like I've kind of recognized that I do need a break from this week, so I'm not going to be doing as much streams. However, still excited. Hope you guys are too. I'm very excited to continue through Umineko. I was also recommended to try out a game called The Council. The first episode was free, so I'm gonna try that tomorrow. And yeah, we're gonna be starting New Game Plus Plus in Silent Hill F on Thursday. And I'll be honest, even though I said like, I don't know, please check Discord or Friday, I might just use that as a break day as well. But yeah, alright. Thank you for watching. Thank you for getting your reads done. If you didn't, if you weren't able to get your single card read, I do apologize. Hopefully I will be more available for that next week. But feel free to watch the VOD to see the 3-card spread, which I think is quite lovely. And hopefully you guys can get something from that. Alright, Otsumuro, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.